hotelintel.co.
Hotelier.com.
This episode is brought to you by Glowfish Serviced Office Space and Virtual Office Services in Bangkok and Commetive Production.
Hi, welcome to hotelier.co. I'm Wimindra, and joining me today is the CEO of Miners, Mendes Cavin, who will be talking about can anyone open a hotel management company? So let's just get started, shall we?
You're asking me that question, yeah?
Yeah. Can anyone open?
Well, yes, you can, right? Well, you go down to the board of investment, you want to open a company, you can do that. But the question is, can you make it successful? I think today is a very challenging period for hotels.
How so?
Travel perceptions have changed. The way from big brands, they try to go away from big brands. They want to have something unique. And hotel management companies was always something about standardization. It was very easy. It's like McDonald's, it's always the same. All over the world you have the same. But today people have sort of changed the way of looking at hotels. It has become, the product has become secondary, whereas the experience is much more important. So I think as a successful management company, that has to be taken into perspective. I think, yes, you can open it. Are you going to succeed it? I don't know. It's difficult. And I think there's actually an opportunity here for smaller companies, new companies, when you create something new. Because of the perception that has been changed, people always try to see something, they try to get something different that varies from hotel to hotel. So it has to be unique in any way. And I think the bigger brands, they're struggling with that. It's always the same. That's why they keep popping up new brands. Okay, like you see Starwood, you see everybody's merging now. Why is that? Because they need to tap into different markets. So I think you can do that, and I think it's an opportunity there.
But there's some people who like to, people who don't like surprise. Like, I like my coffee certain way, and I will like it for the rest of my life like this. I don't want to go into a new coffee shop and my coffee looks green with whatever reasons. I don't want uniqueness in something. I just want this and this and this and that. Do you see that as a challenge as a new company?
I think you can deliver exactly the same quality. I mean, whether you have taking your example, whatever coffee you have, it's not very difficult to make a coffee. Not is it very difficult to build a room that is comfortable, or have a 5-star bed, or have a beautiful spa for that matter. I mean, people out there, they have experience. There's just find the right team. I call it a mastermind. Find the right mastermind. The guy who knows exactly how to do the coffee. The guy who knows exactly how to deliver 5-star massage. Put them together, and they can deliver it. I don't think it's difficult, and that's what the big boys do too.
Right, okay. And there are two types of people who open a management company. You often see someone who has been in the industry for a very long time, and then they retire, and then they just love the industry so much, so they open a management company. And another type is someone who just lost his job and I'm just going to open one. So which one were you when you opened your company? You obviously
I'm not the old guy.
You wouldn't know.
I didn't lose my job per se, but I did leave my job, and I did leave it sort of in the unexpected. We wanted to do something. We were running a company from ground up before for somebody else.
Right.
So we believed we had the experience. Of course, at the age of 28, that was all bullshit. Sorry, let's say that. But it's not true. Like, we came out and we thought we knew it all. Because we were working for a big guy and he gave us all the support. And then all of a sudden, we came out into the world and we thought we could do it. We fell on our nose first, but then, picked it up and go. So I'm the guy who sort of left the job, and we saw an opportunity and we grabbed it.
Right. And why do you think you can do better than other people who have years and years and years of experience?
I don't think we can do better. I think we can do different. Okay. And I think different is what people want. It goes back to being unique.
Right.
We do white label hotels, for example. Mm-hmm. So that's our uniqueness. Every hotel we do is different in every way. So we don't create a chain. That's the old-fashioned way that I just mentioned. And I think that's what the retired dudes do. They come out and they have been working for Marriott for the last 30 years as a GM. And then they say, hey, I know how to create a brand. Let's create a brand that is great, and we sell that brand. But for one, owners don't really want to buy brands anymore. They want to have somebody else's or their name on the roof, not somebody else's name, plus pay for that. Wow. Plus, you have an advantage that people are seeking something unique these days. You see when you go to TripAdvisor, you go to any destination, the top 5-10 hotels, there's no brand in most of the destinations. Those are unique hotels. Nobody has ever heard of them, but they're very beautiful. So yeah, I think that's the opportunity.
So just out of curiosity, so do you think that people these days are looking to experience something just different? They just want to go to a different destination. They want to try a different brand every single time they travel. Is that what the trend
I
is?
think people sort of have that mindset, bring me out into the extreme, let me get some adventure, but bring me safe home for dinner. I think that's what people want. And, a business hotel will always be a business hotel, and standards will always be great for business hotels. As a business traveler myself, I like when things are the same.
Right.
But, a lot of the big hotels these days, resorts and retreats and whatever it is, where you really charge big money, these have to be unique. So I think there's two things to look at.
And what does a person need in order to run a hotel management company?
I think perseverance, full stop. I think surely you need the passion, you need the love for hospitality, because it's not an easy industry. It takes a lot of hard work and you get little out of it at the beginning. But I think perseverance is what you really need. Be able to fall down, get knocked on your head, stand up again and go again. I think that counts for every business that you start. That you've done it successfully. So get up, if you fall, get up and do it again. And just keep on going. I think that's what you need.
So someone who actually how do you say it? Persist. Yeah. So is that the only thing? What is the secret of running a independent management company?
I don't think there's a secret. I just think there's so many people out there, they're stuck to the old ways. They got so rusty in a world that has been the same for the last 200 years. All the big brands, they've been built 150, 200 years ago, okay? And they've been the same ever since. That was great. For the last 10 years, that was fantastic. But now it's changed. And those guys that grew up with these big brands, they have become so rusty, they can't even think for themselves anymore, because they've been given the Bible and they look into that thing and they say, well, there's a solution for every problem I have. I just need to open it. And it says right there what I'm going to do. So they haven't been pushed to think by themselves. They have been pushed to do what it says, so that the standard, is the same in any hotel around the world. I think today what we do different is we have a different mindset. We're very young. We're very creative. We're not very smart as per se. I'm never as smart as a GM of whatever Four Seasons guy. I don't know as much as he do. I'm not by far. But we go out in the market and we look what people want and we give it to them. It's really that simple. And we're not bound to global brand standards or something like that. So we can just change immediately. So that being small, having that opportunity allows us to have a competitive edge over the big boys.
So is it hard for you to find someone that have the same kind of mindset to work with you or work for you as a team? I'm sure it has been very hard for me.
Well, yes. I mean, yeah. Well, yes and no. There's two things against it. I mean, there's the guys that you really want to put in as a GM, and they usually come as an older age. Yeah. Now, we're in Thailand. We adapted to it. You look up to them, right? Like I just said, I never know what he knows. I never would, but I know different things, and I appreciate what he does, and he probably appreciates what I do. I hope so, at least. And so that's how it works. And for the creative jobs that we have, the people that are working with us in interior design and architects and the graphic guys and the web developers in our company, they're very young. They're very young. They're a little bit crazy in their heads. They walk around. You wouldn't think who they are. Right. But that's how artists are. And we combine the both of them. When we have a round table within our company, you have the very experienced guys that sit there with their suits and ties, and they look just the way any hotelier should look. And then you have the other guys over there that create the hotel that he's working in. And they just look like ripped pants, and you don't know. Yeah. So it's kind of nice that we have that opportunity today.
So can you actually, just to summarize this, the secret of being a good CEO, a successful CEO, would be admit that you are not the smartest guy in the room. You just have to admit that I'm not the one who knows everything.
Absolutely. I don't think some of the big new CEOs out there that have built all these billion-dollar companies, they're the smartest people. That's why usually they employ people to be CEOs, right? Yeah. And neither am I. I'm by far not. I'm not a very experienced hotelier. At the age of 28, I was a GM, and that was it. But I wasn't doing that for 20 years. So I don't know. Definitely right. I think the key to a successful business today, as it was 100 years ago, is to have a group of people that know their business well.
Right.
Everybody knows what they're doing, and you put together that mastermind, which is what I call it, and you know what to rely upon for each person. What I call knowledge management. If I need to know something about revenue management, don't ask me any questions. I don't know. I go to the guy, ask him, and he comes to me, and I give you the answer.
Right.
So that's the way it works. And I think you shouldn't be ignorant enough or arrogant enough to believe that as a CEO you have to be the smartest guy. You will never be.
True. So we are not the smartest people.
By far not.
No. No. What about work-life balance? Can a CEO have a balanced life? I know you hit the road all the time. You're always busy. You've been traveling, signing deals after deals, which is good.
Well,
how's a balanced life of a CEO?
Actually, my life is very balanced. It has been a lot more relaxed since I did my own company, because you have the freedom to schedule your work, as you know that. You know, I do something now, I do something later. Sometimes I work until 10, but then again in the morning I go to the gym. So it's, for me as a CEO, I think the beauty of it is that I have freedom to do what I need to do or what I want to do when I want to do. Okay, so I have a beautiful balance between my sport, my leisure time, and my work. Yeah. Of course, work at the moment is still a priority. Okay. But I need to be, for example, me personally, I need to have my sport every, whatever, so many times a week in order to actually think. I get blocked if I don't go to work out, and that helps. So that gives me that balance that I need.
So that's like me going shopping. Kind of relax.
Well, I don't relax with shopping, but I do it at the gym. Yeah.
So, and then for someone who want to open a hotel management company, where do they start? Where do we start? Go to the bank, get a loan, sell your dream to thousands of friends, go funded. What is it?
I think what helped for us, right, is have something in your mind that you really want to do, and go for it, and don't stop, and go through dirt, and try to get up again. And that's the way we did it. At the end of the day, if you have a good mouth, if you have a good personality, if you can talk, if you're outgoing, if you like to meet people, you will meet people. There'll be so many people out there that will want to invest in your dreams. There's always a financial benefit for them as well, right? But the most important, really, I believe, is just have the guts and do it. Just go out and do it. If you really want to do something, and that's what you put at your heart, I believe you can achieve it. If you can see it, you can achieve it.
So money shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't stop you from where you want to do what you want to do.
I want to take a minute. I make it very short. I want to tell you how we started. I came out of a big paying job. I didn't lose it. I resigned. Okay. We thought we could do it. We couldn't do it. We had 40,000 baht in our bank.
Yeah.
Okay, that was it. That was all I had. We didn't obviously have enough money even to register a company. So we went onto the street. Don't show this to immigration. So we went onto the street and we had a block hang, right?
With a push cart, yeah.
We sold street food. We made enough money. We built a restaurant. We made enough money with that restaurant. We were able to do our company. We got our first client, and then we started. So that's how we did it, and that was a period of 1.5 years. It wasn't easy.
No.
Not at all.
Would imagine you pushing a cart on the road now.
The easy part, trying to serve people on the street, that looked funny. I was probably the only white guy doing that. But that's what it is, you see? And sometimes you have to put the ultimate dream a little bit back so that you can actually get there. You have to start with something else. Don't go out and think, tomorrow I'm going to be a CEO. There's a way to it. There's a process to go through. And I think probably everybody, including you, have to go through that. Yeah, that's what I think.
Thank you very much for joining us today, Mendes. I know that you have drove from Pattaya for us today. Thank you so much. And we'll see you in next episode. Stay tuned. Thank you very much.